Hello everyone, GrandVerse back again, bringing you guys some more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, and today I am doing some live commentary over the pre-recorded matches that we had in the finals between Idut and Wakanda. This is for the inaugural first ever GrandVerse Championship champion. We're going to crown the winner today. We had an amazing tournament over the weekend. 32 people came in, and only one is going to come out on the top of the mountain. So this was a very exciting time. We have a Red Slater team versus a Blue Elizabeth Hawk team. Now, Wakanda is using the Blue Elizabeth Hawk team, whereas Idut is working with the Red Slater team. It's very, very interesting. Now, if you guys and gals are not familiar with the rules, you can check those out on our rules page for the tournament in the Discord in the description below. And if you want to join any future tournaments, definitely be in that Discord so I can keep you posted and updated when we do so in the future. So, this is ungeared, obviously. Idut and Wakanda had very good records coming into this final. We had an 8-1 record from Wakanda versus an 8-2 record with Idut. One of which of those matches Idut could have won, but he made a misplay, so he could have also been 8-1. But nonetheless, they both came in with phenomenal records. Our third place winner, Kayla, so congratulations to Kayla for coming in third place. They had their match earlier in the day as well, and it was very highly contested, very highly competitive. So again, congratulations to our third place winner in the third place match with Kayla. But back to the action here. This is a best 3 of 5 series where the rest of the bracket was best 2 out of 3. And because of that, each competitor has to use both of their teams, and then if they want to get that third win, they can use either of the previous 2 teams if they like. So that's the way we handled it for the finals. Every combatant had to use 8 characters with 2 different teams, and they had to use those same 2 teams the entirety of the tournament. If you won with a team, you had to take that team out and then bring in your second team, and then you had to win with that team as well if you wanted to move on in the rounds. If you lost, you were able to use that team again or go and try your other team out. So that's kind of how we did it. And it was very fantastic and fun. I think a lot of people enjoyed that. We had some really good competition. We had quite a few players that were top 100 in geared and a couple that were top 100 and ungeared in this competition. So it was very highly competitive, and I think the turnout was awesome. I think we're going to be doing more in the future. And if you guys and gals out there that are watching from YouTube and seeing posted that way, if you guys want to participate, again, join us in the Discord below. So we have the Red Demon Meliodas coming in off the bench, whereas the opposition, Wakanda, actually has Gilthunder on his bench that will come in at the very tail end of this fight. So you can see right here that he's struggling to take out that Blue Elizhawk. And the reason for that is a lot of people don't understand the importance of her passive and how strong it really is. They look at her passive as a negative to her skill set because they're like, okay, she gains more HP per debuff, but wouldn't she just cleanse it with her Solidify anyway? And you would be half right. She can still be super tanky with a unit like Gilthunder in the back and a whole bunch of debuffs stacked on her, because what's happening is her HP is going up and up and up, making her harder and harder to kill. And since she is a priority and a problem to get rid of, because if she gets any kind of buffs, solidifies, and then goes off on you, or even uses her ult, which ignores defense, you're in a bad situation. So you want to have your opponent keep focusing on her, but if they keep debuffing her, like a Red Slater putting so many debuffs on her at the start, that is a double-edged sword. Yes, you shut her down, but now she is super tanky. So she's still on the field, she's still represented, and she's still allowing you to have that additional skill slot to play to do more attacks to your opponent. So there is a problem there to be had and a benefit to be gained for her in that actual passive. So it's really not a bad passive if you look at the broader spectrum of what she can do with it. Very, very amazing. Now, Idut made a misplay earlier on in his fight. I don't know if any of you caught it. If you did, let me know. what he did was he accidentally played an Extort after he played a skill earlier in the fight, when he could have potentially taken out that blue Eliz Hawk much sooner. And because of that, it really set him behind, because then he still had to deal with the Eliz Hawk, and he still had to deal with that Bond, which was causing him a lot of problems with the spamming Extort, really lowering his damage output. And with Guild Thunder in the back, you don't want to have lower attack by any means, because then it's just going to be an uphill battle from there. But as you can see here, Edu's got his back against the wall. He does have a Bond that's getting ready to use his ultimate. However, as a lot of you know, Bond's ultimate does not hit all of that hard, especially in ungeared, especially against a team that's tanky with a Guild Thunder, and he has an Extort on him to boot. So all of those variables did not equal very much success there in terms of trying to take someone out. And then we have, of course, Red Arthur, whose ultimate hits a lot, especially with the 2x crit that he can get off of it. And he's about to hit a type disadvantaged green Bond. And that spells disaster for Edu. So unfortunately, with this hit, Edu suffers the first loss. He's now down 0-1 to Wakanda. So now we have Wakanda bringing in his second team. He's bringing in the dreaded King Broom, a lot of you know. But the team that I use personally as well, Edu brought in the Cancer to fight the Cancer. We've got Red Gother with Blue King and Green Merlin in the main slot, with Guild Thunder in the back, which just adds a lot of utility, a lot of first turn maneuvers. This team has a little bit of everything. You can put up barriers, which can mitigate a lot of damage. And if you're in geared, this team becomes twice as Cancer, if not 3 times as bad, because now the barriers become super strong. And if you put all defensive gear on your Gother, he can get hit for patience quite often, and it's very hard to break that barrier. So he's just going to keep ult rushing and taking away all your orbs. So it could definitely become very problematic. You also have Blue King, who can cleanse and petrify, and his ultimate, especially if you have him 5-6 out of 6, he's going to just destroy everything. And then of course, you know all about Green Merlin, spamming the ult gauge removal, putting up the barriers, and her ult hits pretty hard too, especially if you got some dupes in her. Now for the King Room team. King Room team relies a little bit on first turn RNG, because you really want to try and ult rush with either a Gother or your Hellbrim. A lot of people want to try to ult rush with that Blue King, but if you're playing against an opposition that's running a lot of buffs, they're also running a lot of tankiness, you want to be, especially barriers, you want to be able to remove that as quick as possible. So a lot of people like to go ahead and force ult with Hellbrim so he can remove all those problematic obstacles early on. Or you also want to try to get your Gother at ult levels first as well, so he can take away any of their ult gauges, which allows you the time you need to set up for your King to use his ult and completely obliterate the opposition. You can also, of course, start off with a ult gauge removal with a Hellbrim and double petrify between King and Hellbrim. It all depends on what your starting hand is, but they have a lot of firepower. King Broom is just a dastardly team, a very devastating team, a nasty team. But the team that it's playing against is equally, if not more so, Cancer. So this is a battle of Cancer versus Cancer, or in this case, for these terrible times, Pandemic versus Pandemic. So you can see here that he's working down on that Blue King. Green Merlin hits that Blue King very, very hard, especially if you can get a rank 3 ult gauge removal off of a Gother rank up. She can hit King so hard. You can see here though, he's got 2 barriers up. He's about to get hit by a Hellbrim AoE, which of course will remove the barriers and any other buffs that team actually had. And now he's going to go in and hit with a Gother ult, removing all the ult gauges. Now at this point, it seems like Edu might be in trouble. So there we go. And he took him out. So Edu is now down to a single King and his bench unit, Guild Thunder. He goes ahead and just screw that, I'm out. Unfortunately, that King Room team got everything on turn 1 that it needed to, and it was an uphill climb from there. But those are two very, very powerful teams. Now, Idut opted to stick with his team that he just lost with, and Wakanda switched back to his other original team with Blue Elizhawk, and we got Idut working on that Elizhawk very early on because he learned his lesson from the very first matchup. And at this point, Idut is down 0-2. His confidence is dwindling. He's very upset. He's very emotional. This is the finals. This is the World Championships. GrandVerse Championships 1. We're crowning a champion here. A lot is at stake. You know, reputation. You know, getting, you know, basically immortalized in the Discord. You know, becoming the first ever champ. That's a big, huge thing for a lot of people out there that are in the competitive gaming. And not to mention, you also have that prize on the line as well. So there's a lot to be had. So he's going in and he's going to rank up the king. He's going to try and lock down. And then he's going to go with the ult because he ult rushed with Green Merlin. He wants to take out that Blue Elizhawk as soon as physically possible. And he made a good move there by locking down that bond, which caused him so much trouble, troubles rather, in the first round. So he did indeed finally get rid of that Blue Elizhawk, and that really sets the board up nicely for him because now he just has to deal with that bond and that Arthur. You know, Gil Thunder's not so much of a problem. Now, if he gets his ult off, he can do some damage. And he can also buff attacks and stuff like that. But mainly, you want to deal with that Arthur and you want to deal with that bond because that is the real trouble there. Especially the bond, being able to do AoE attacks that can hurt a lot because of the extort. So, he's going to go in here and he's going to lock down their attacks. And then he's going to go ahead and I believe he removed ult gauge. Yes, he did. So, he removed the ult gauge there. He's just going to go ahead and take the extort from the bond. He figures that's a safer play. And now he has his Gotha ready to go. So so his opponent Wakanda's thinking about, okay, who am I going to take out? He's going to obviously extort first to maximize his damage output. He's going to charge up his attack off of an Arthur buff. And he's going to go ahead and try to take out the king, which I do believe he does. So there you go. He took out the blue king, which is still a very good foundation for that team, but it can still get by without him because of how much synergy that team actually has. Gil Thunder himself can boost up the barriers for Merlin because of the attack amp. So, I mean, that team is just top to bottom, just synergizing with each other just seamlessly, and it's amazing to see. And you're seeing it kind of in action here. Again, this team is built more for geared because it takes more advantage of Merlin's skill set and King's incredible AoE nuke. But it's still very, very strong in ungeared as well. So we got double rank ups that just rolled in here. We got a 2-star, silver, and a bronze. He's got a couple bronze barriers, go through attack skill, and an ult gauge removal. His opponent's going to go ahead and hit him with his attacks, his AoE attacks back to back. And we have Arthur going in trying to take out that Green Merlin, which is very smart, obviously, because Green Merlin is a pain in the butt if she keeps removing her ult gauges and putting barriers up. She can become a big nuisance. So he's going to go ahead and rank up. He's going to take away their attacks again. And then you got the barriers coming in. Now, this is a very good setup. This is one of the strongest setups right now in the game. Taking away attacks and barrier. So you can see, you could just feel the tension. Wakanda's thinking very, very hard. He's like, okay, I win this game. I am the champion. All I have to do is put away Idut one more time, and I'm there. And Idut's thinking, I need to fight for survival. I'm down 0-2. I need to pick up a win. I need to gain that confidence. I need to try and tie this thing up. Get to that rubber match and see if I can't get a good matchup and a good start and potentially still make the most epic comeback in GrandVerse Championship history. Which, granted, it's the first one, so the history's not too long. But hey, it's still interesting and enticing and enjoyable to see nonetheless. So he's going to just keep him locked down. So what I like to call this situation is the control room. He has entered the control room. Wakanda is now entering the control room because what is happening now is he's just going to keep shutting down his attacks, barrier. Shutting down attacks, barrier. When they get close to an ult, he pops ult gauge removal. And then you rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Your opponent really can't do too much because they can attack. Most of their units that he's running are attack-based units. He can still extort, obviously, and use Arthur's skill 2 when it becomes a rank 2 or higher. So he's got that, but those two maneuvers aren't going to be enough to take out 3 units that can all completely nuke you in various ways. It's a tilty setup, and when you finally get people to enter the quote-unquote control room, you have them right where you want them, and then you get a situation like this where you have Bond all by him lonesome trying to take down 3 very, very durable units, very powerful units. Now, he does a very good job, though, staying alive and keeping this very dramatic because that Bond is no joke. That is a very cosmetic out Bond. By no means would you want to count that bad boy out even by himself because he is packing a punch even for the standards of ungeared. So he's going to go ahead and take away the ult gauge, which is smart. Just keep that ult gauge down. Just chip away a little bit of the damage with Gil Thunder. Now watch this. You're thinking, okay, he's dead. But he comes out swinging with a big rank 3 attack skill. And oh my goodness, did the tension in the air just get thick. Because that did so much damage. And there was actually a good chance there. If he would have got like some more crit out of that, he could have actually taken out that Merlin and that Gil Thunder, making it a one-on-one match. And at that point, Gowther would have been in trouble because it would have been a race to the finish line for an ult, and that Bond would have been at that ult a lot sooner than that Gowther would have been, and that would have spelled the end for Gowther. So that it really got very scary there at the end. I felt this because I saw this match live in the Discord, and man, when I saw that big rank 3 come out, I was like, oh, it was pretty intense. And sorry if my voice is going out. I've been making videos all day, guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying the grind. This has been one busy weekend here at GrandVerse. We've had so many things to do. We still have a live stream coming up. We're going to be doing some summonings for the boy Escanor and, talking about the new Chapter 8, the new final boss, all that good stuff. That's going to be coming in our next live stream here on the channel. So I hope you guys and gals are ready for that. And again, I hope you all are enjoying this tournament. I put in a lot of effort trying to make this work. I hope it was successful for a lot of you. I know I was not able to get all the matches out on the channel. I didn't have enough time. We had a lot of inconsistencies with quality. I didn't want to give you guys any terrible quality videos. At least with this one, it wasn't too bad. And I am glad that we were able to at least film the finals. Now, if Netmarble adds a spectator mode into the actual PvP, then we'll be able to do this live and get a lot of the matches on film for you guys on the channel to follow. And that's when it's going to be very hype. But hopefully for the time being, this format works well for you guys. And here we go. Gil Thunder is going to take out this green Bond. Finally, after a lot of close calls and a lot of drama there at the end, we're now going in to another match. Now, at this point, Idut is down still 1-2 or 2-1, depending on what perspective you want to come from. And Wakanda still is sitting there thinking, I can use any team I want of the 2 because I already won with both of them. So he has the dealer's choice. Not to mention, he needs 1 win, and that is game over. And then he will be, of course, crowned the champion if he can pull off that last-ditch victory. That last-ditch effort for that victory. So, we have, again, the Liz Hawk team coming out because She is the queen of ungeared. If you guys doubted the power of Blue Liz Hawk, hopefully this tournament changed a lot of your minds. By the way, I will have the full brackets posted in the Discord so you guys and gals can go check it out and see who was in the top 4, the final 4, who of course faced Kayla for 3rd place, which was, spoiler alert, Shazam. And of course you'll see by then, after this video, who won. And some of you who are already in the Discord already knew who won before you watched the video. So we had, again, one very highly contested, very highly competitive match. You have that Hauser coming in doing some pretty good damage this fight. He didn't get much work in on that first fight that they had between Wakanda and Edu, but in this fight, he's getting some work in. Now, a lot of people don't like to run Hauser and ungeared because they feel like he lacks a lot of damage, which is pretty true. But if you can get him going, he can still do a significant amount of damage if you can get a lot of consistent rank 2 and rank 3 skill cards off. But it is a little bit of an effort to try and fight for those cards with other units like Slater and Gother himself that also needs those cards. So it can be a bit of a hassle to run those units. It's kind of like a high risk, high reward. If you get a good hand, Hauser can go off. If you don't, Hauser is going to be just sitting there not doing too much. So it is a high risk, high reward. And of course, we have the Red Demon Meliodas coming in off the bench. We did lose a unit here on the dude's side, so he's already down 4-3 in terms of, you know, hero matchups. His Red Slater is on the bubble for death already because he's got low HP. Granted, the Green Bond and the Blue Lizhawk are also very, very low, but that Lizhawk, she just refuses to die. She's like just stonewalling in this competition. And Edu was not the only challenger to have trouble with that matchup. As I said at the beginning of this video, Wakanda came into the finals 8-1. 8-1. So he was dominating a majority of his matchups. And there you see Blue Lizhawk in action, just completely shredding Slater. Unfortunately, unceremoniously, and unforgivingly. Alright, so now we have Hauser coming in, and boy, wait till you guys see this. This was a shocker. We thought this was a close call. He only did 58,000 damage. 58,000. His team tanked that hit hard. That Gil Thunder in the back is just becoming a thorn in Edu's side. He is just haunting Edu right now because that, like I said, when you're in ungeared, you do so much less damage compared to when you're in geared because you're relying 100% on cosmetics and your character's base stats. And man, that was unfortunate. If that was geared PvP, all 3 of those units potentially would be dead with that Hauser ult. But in ungeared, with Gil Thunder in the back, they tanked it so well and put our boy Edu in a bad situation. He's now down to his final 2 units and potentially getting knocked out of contention to be the number 1 in our first ever tournament and being crowned the first champion. So you can see right here, it's already looking doom and gloom for our boy Edu. Wakanda came out. We were jokingly making this comment. I think it just stuck. We called Wakanda Whale-Conda. Taking the pun of a whale when you're a very high-end, expensive player. But we also made a joke because since it's Conda, we wanted to make an animal that's powerful in land and an animal that's powerful in the ocean. And then you have Whale-Conda. And Whale-Conda, with this finishing blow from Green Bond, is your first ever champion. I hope you guys all enjoy the tournament. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tick notifications, and join us in the Discord below. Until next time, peace.